I finished my little mid-century Mersman coffee table. It was pretty scratched up. It had a mahogany stain. After I got all the glue and old stain off of it, I could see how they made it. They took individual strips of wood, glued them all together, cut it out, and then they put a veneer top on it and a veneer on the bottom and stained it mahogany. But these are real wood legs that were stained mahogany. I'm not sure if they were mahogany or just walnut, but I took it all, stripped everything down with citrus strip twice, and then sanded everything down. I did hand sanding. I noticed with veneers you got to be a little careful. You can be too aggressive with sanding if mechanical sand or electric sanders. So I did it by hand, and it's not, you know, I had some pretty serious scratches, so I started out with 100 and then just worked my way up, 150, 220, 320 I think, and ended with 400. So I got all the scratches out. I'm happy with that. My kids helped me a little bit for about 5 minutes. And the legs the same way. They weren't beat up too bad, just dirty. I mean, built up, you know, probably wax and dirt over the years. So I ended up taking that, and I took took a tack cloth, vacuumed everything off, wiped it down with the tack cloth, then used double-aught steel wool, and got it as clean as I'm going to get it. And then I just finished staining it with Danish Oil, deep dark walnut. The legs came out darker walnut stained than the top did. Not stained, but it's Danish Oil, I guess the same thing. So I hit it once with the Danish Oil, let it sit for about 20 minutes and wiped off the excess, and then hit it again and let it sit for about 20 minutes and wiped off the excess, and then hit it the third time. It's pretty smooth finish, and there's some people like to use double-aught between each coat. Other people say, well, if you've achieved a pretty smooth finish, you really don't need to, but you can experiment, it doesn't really matter. So I didn't feel like doing it, and it came out pretty nice. It's really smooth. The finish has like a dull sheen, which is what I wanted. So I'm just gonna go with that, let it dry out. They said really let it cure for about a week, depending on the weather. The cooler it is, the slower it is to, you know, cure. And the test is you basically wait a couple days and then sniff it, and if you can't really smell that linseed oil, then it's pretty much cured. So I'll just leave it sit out for a week and then put it in the house. And I looked online, there's, you know, different ways to finish it. Some guys put wax on it. Some guys say, hey, look, the purpose of you know, Danish Oil is to get down into the grain and bring the grain up. You really don't want a shiny, you know, finish. Other guys say, hey, use this wax and you can get a really nice shine. So what I plan on doing, I know my kids and wife won't listen to me, and they'll, you know, put that water glass right there, you know, get that nice water ring, despite, you know, 55,000 coasters. Guaranteed I'm going to get water rings no matter what. So I'll let it go and let them just beat on it for a year, and then I'm going to come back and remove the water rings. And I might go with a shiny look to it then, just to play around with that Danish Oil and hand rubbing. And there's a guy, he sounds British, he has a pretty good video on how to do that, so I might try that in a year. And maybe I'll hand rub these in, like every day I'll just come out here and hand rub the table with some really nice cotton cloth to get a little bit of that sheen that I like I got on my chair over there. I really like that. But it's a nice little project. Came out pretty good, very little investment into it. And I enjoy sitting out here. It's a really cool day in Orlando, so it was a nice little Sunday afternoon project. And then I think tomorrow I'm going to work on this little ottoman. I picked up, we have what we call the big extravaganza flea market in Mount Dora twice a year, and it turned out to be pretty much a bust. I was hoping there'd be some mid-century furniture out there that was kind of beat up that I could get and refinish. And it really, the days of flea markets, from what I can tell, are over. You know, with Craigslist, eBay, Etsy, you know, estate sales, garage sales, I don't know. I've never found anything at the Mount Dora flea market. This is probably the first time in a year that I've gone out there that this is what I really was looking for. I needed an ottoman to match these two chairs that I picked up. They're mid-century, made by Ducks. They just have this maple finish, honey finish, I guess, but you know, it's got water damage, just worn. You know, grandmother had it, gave it to the daughter sold it to me, and I'm going to strip those down. I want to stain them dark walnut. I don't think I'll use Danish Oil on it. I'm just not sure. But I think I'm going to try to use dark walnut and a different finish to get like a dull sheen, but a little bit of a protection on it. And I needed that ottoman, and I was going to stain that too, and then refinish the ottoman the same color as these two, like a light gray upholstery. And that should come out pretty good. These are the original cushions. Pretty hideous. The cushions themselves are great, it's just the upholstery is bad. And they're too thick for this type of chair. They should be like this thick. When you put these really fat ones on here, it just changes the whole appearance of the chair. And I went online looking at some, original ones that are selling for, $1,500, unfinished, brand. Like someone took them out of the showroom, or very little damage, so these won't qualify for that. But I really kind of like mid-century lounge chairs. They really are low to the ground when you compare it to today's living. I kind of joke how low they were compared to what we have now. But, for whatever reason, that was the style back then. So these, I think, coming in with a dark walnut with a light gray upholstery, medium gray upholstery, and then I toss in this ottoman too. That should be a quick fit, which is actually in good shape. It has a nice vinyl cover on it, but, unless you have something that color to match it, big deal. The legs are nice though. The legs, I think, are like, I don't know, you could probably buy them for maybe 12, 15 bucks or more on eBay. I could have made an ottoman maybe I paid $18 for it. But it's quick and easy just to take off this old vinyl and reupholster it myself, and I'm done with it. I'll stain the legs, bang. So that really was intuitive that I found this one thing that I needed to go with my maybe next project, or I might start these chairs. I got the one chair done, but I have to get the Danish cord, hasn't shown up yet. So, I'll probably goof around with this for a bit, waiting for that Danish cord, and then start doing the chairs again. And I'm really kind of looking forward to these chairs. I think they're going to look really, really nice. And I'm not going to keep them. I'm going to sell them. And I hope to get, more than what I paid for, what I got into it, which I think I can do. Mid-century is still pretty popular. And that is a nice chair. If you bought the set, I think it would look nice and someone had like a loft apartment or is doing mid-century. They might like that for their living room, they want it for their den or whatever, because they do have very, very good bones to them. There's no cracks, no splits, nothing. It's just that honey maple just doesn't cut it for me. So I think a dark walnut will really make this chair pop really nice. And then this right here along with it should be a nice little set for somebody. Maybe I can get it on Craigslist, and if I get desperate, try eBay. And my little coffee table here, I'll let it cure for a week and then sit it in the house and let my wife and kids do what they do to every other table that I have. So that's it. All right, thanks.